Sanibonani, so igama lami uNthabise Mavuso. Today I decided let us talk about HIV, ukuthi what happens when it enters the body and what are the risks of you not taking a treatment yakho. So we all know that HIV is the human immunodeficiency virus that affects our CD4 cells. So guys, I'm going to use the simplest terms as I can, because now I'm just trying to make you understand what happens when it gets to your body. We all have CD4 cells, né? And the function of the CD4 cells is to fight off infections. So when you are sick, the CD4 cells multiplies to actually fight off that infection. So when you get infected with HIV, it goes straight to those CD4 cells and changes them to become the HIV virus cells, and then they multiply. So when your body releases CD4 cells, when your body makes CD4 cells to fight off the infection, quickly the HIV infection changes those CD4 cells to HIV RNAs, and then they multiply. So what happens after your infection, 1 to 2 days, is the stage whereby the HIV tries and replicates more and try to change your CD4 cells to HIV RNAs. And then when you guys do not take treatment, it keeps on, multiplying, because the body, its function is to keep on making CD4 cells. So the HIV, on the other hand, is, taking those CD4 cells and changing them. So if you don't take your treatment, what happens? Your body ends up having more HIV cells than your normal CD4 cells that are able to fight off infections. So once the HIV has changed all those cells to HIV cells, that's when you actually get more infection, like your TBs, your meningitis, because now your CD4 cells, they decrease, isn't it? And then your HIV virus increases in your body. So you become immunodeficient. That's what HIV is. And that makes you at risk of developing other infectious diseases. So if you start taking treatment, the treatment, you know what they do? They inhibit the HIV cells from multiplying, and they allow the body to make more CD4 cells, so that your CD4 count increases and your viral load actually decreases. So the virus decreases, the viral cells decreases, while the CD4 cells increases. Because now when the treatment enters the body, it inhibits the replication of the virus, while decreasing a viral load and increasing your CD4 count. So that's why once you start taking treatment when you are sick, you feel I'm now better. That's what happens, because your body is able to make more cells to fight off diseases. And then if now it happens that you stop taking the treatment, the virus again becomes excited, and then it starts affecting the CD4 cells. That's when you now start being sick again. So I will make more videos of what actually happens once your CD4 cells decreases in the body, and what happens when your viral load actually increases, which is your virological failure, once you start taking your treatment. So the importance of taking a treatment is so that the HIV virus decreases and your CD4 cells actually increases, and assists the treatment, the ARVs, to fight off this virus. So guys, when you go to test, they prick you here, and then your test says actually you are HIV positive. So once you start taking treatment, even if they prick you, when you are virologically suppressed, the HIV test will say negative. I hope you understand, because now this test actually detects the HIV that is actually floating in the blood, the cells that are actually floating in the blood. So once the treatment actually attacks all those HIV cells, and your body is more stronger with CD4 cells, when you test it, it's going to say negative. So if you are not taking your treatment correctly, even if you take treatment for 10 years, but if you are not taking them correctly, we will still test you, and it comes back positive, because there's still more HIV cells in your blood than the CD4 cells. So what happens then to the HIV cells when you take your treatment correctly? In our bodies, there are reserve banks I think most of you will know reserve. What does reserve mean? It means there's a place reserved somewhere just in case something happens. So HIV is very clever, guys. Once you start taking treatments, it collects a few of its cells and then go and store them in the reserve that I'm talking about, reserve sex. And then they wait for you to default your treatment so that they can come out again and attack the CD4 cells. That's how they work. So if you take your treatment correctly, they quickly take some of the cells and store them in the reserve sex. Once you start defaulting your treatment, then they come out and then they become excited because there's a lot of CD4 cells, and then they attack those cells and multiply. That is why it's very important for you to take your treatment correctly to avoid this replication of the HIV cells, because when you have more CD4 cells in your body, the HIV is able to replicate more because now there are more cells that are freely floating and they are able to attack. So I hope this video is actually going to help you understand what happens when you actually get your HIV infection and you are not taking treatment correctly. I'm also going to make a video about what happens to the ones who keep on testing and their results comes back negative, even with a partner who is actually HIV positive, and some of them are not even on treatment. So I hope this topic is going to be exciting and actually help you guys to decide to start your treatment, because I know a lot of people skeptic with starting a treatment because now they're taking multivitamins and everything. Those things will make you actually stronger, for a short time, but it actually assists HIV to replicate more in your body. So you find out your body is actually a body, but it's actually filled with HIV cells, and you are not able to fight off other diseases. Hence, when your viral load is actually high, you develop other infectious diseases. Thank you very much.